welcome at the Final Boss Auto Hub, and today's going to be a special episode. I think you guys know that I like creating top 10s, and this one is going to be a top 10, but this is going to be a very controversial topic. And this top 10 is about the top 10 racing video games ever created. Now, I already had some discussions with the homies, and I was already getting all kinds of backlash and getting into heavily, heated debates about what game is better and where games should rank. So I want to hear what you guys think. I'm ready for all the smoke. Let's get into it, right? So without further ado, the top 10 racing video games. And we're going to start at number 10. And in my opinion, number 10 is a game that most racing people know, especially from my generation. You kind of grew up playing this game in laundromats, pizza shops, the arcades, anywhere they have these little small video games, you normally would see this game. And this game is called Cruising USA. Number 10, right? And just think about it, like the gameplay of this game was like very arcadey, clearly, but it was fun. It was ahead of its time when it was released. You had fun fire ass cars in that game that you can choose from. Besides picking the truck or a car, all the cars wasn't so super overpowered. If you knew what you was doing, you knew how to race, you knew when to brake, things like that, you can easily win a race. But this game was so much fun, you would literally just spend all your money playing this game in the arcade. The funny thing is, if you came in first, you get to keep going. They give you a free round and a free round until you lose. And that basically made the game fun to play. So all you have to do is just win and you get to keep going. But I think nevertheless, this game was at the number 10 spot. I think if you grew up playing racing games and racing games are your thing, you definitely played Cruising USA. It was just a fun game to play. So I have that game at the number 10 spot. All right, let's keep it going. Now this game, I think when I mention the title, everybody knows this game. And you're probably gonna be like, why I have it so low? But just bear with me. And in the number 9 spot, I had Midnight Club Double Edition. Now, this game took what the Need for Speed Underground series did and multiplied it between 3 to 5 times, right? This game was truly for the hood. You heard? Like, truly for the hood. HOOD. It was truly a hood classic. They made it inspired from the hood. This game was just on a whole nother level, right? Like it blended hip hop culture and street racing culture. And for example, like the music, the gear that was in the game, the cars, the customization, and made a gem of a game, right? So the racing mechanics was cool. It was more closer to more of an arcade feel game, not a simulation. It definitely took a little bit from the Need for Speed mechanics, driving mechanics, and they blended that so well and kind of differentiated it a little bit to make it its own game. But it worked and it was very popular. You know what I'm saying? And then they used Manny Fresh's song real big to promote the game. The game was fire, man. Like you had to be there when these games were released. It was just a gem of a game, classic racing game. And most of you can't say it's not. You might want to fight with me because where I have it on the list, but this is a classic racing game. So in the number 9 position, I have Midnight Club Double Edition. And fun fact, Midnight Club, right? That's from Japan. Look it up. Look it up. I know about my car history. There used to be a great legendary racing, racing game that used to come out, and they used to call themselves the Midnight Club. And they used to come out around midnight between 12 and 3 a.m. in the morning and race other car factions within their city. And they were just so fast and such great drivers. They were infamous and they were named the Midnight Club. Look that up if you think I'm lying. But anyway, let's keep going. In the number 8 position, I have the Need for Speed Underground series, both 1 and 2, right? And that's in the 8th position. This game, besides Fast and Furious, like basically helped jumpstarted the car culture, not only in the streets but at homes, like just within the home. You know what I'm saying? Like you grew up, you seen Paul Walker and Vin Diesel going crazy and Fast and the Furious, and the Need for Speed dropped, and you was just like, damn, I gotta play this game. So it's literally responsible for like 85% of the gearheads that are around. You feel me? You were literally able to build the hell out of your car. You know what I mean? Like you can customize it down even to the way how it drives, which was a major selling point for the video game. And the story was very mid in terms of plot, you know, but the driving mechanics, the cars, the soundtrack, all of that made up for it. And you were able to go online. This is one of the first few games you were able to go online. You can race your friends. You had all different builds. It was just a legendary game. And I know most of you are going to say this game is pretty low on the list, but wait, there's more. There's more. Just wait. Bear with me, all right? And I got to take a sip of water because all this talking got your boy thirsty. Anyway, let's keep it going. So in number 8 position, Need for Speed Underground Series. Now, this next game I know is going to be very controversial. Hear me out. Hear me out. I think you guys are going to like it. This was a game that everyone could play, no matter the skill level. And it was probably one of the first of its time. But this game is Mario Kart. I have Mario Kart in the number 7 position. Mario Kart. Now, during the time of Cruising USA, the NASCAR series games, and other racing games, here comes a game that's not too serious, but it had like a lot of well-known popular characters. Wario, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Toad. And it had actually decent driving mechanics, but it gave an arcade feel in which you can actually attack your competition. Now, no one thought this game would actually be this popular, but this game was tough. It was tough as hell. Like, I compare this game to Uno, to be honest, right? Like, you can literally beef with anyone in your family depending on how the race go. You could literally be playing with your spouse, your children, your parents or whatever, and the next thing you know, you get hit by one of the infamous red shells. Bow, you out of there. And you was killing, and now you in 6th or 7th place because you got hit with a red shell. And then for the more experienced drivers who was super nice, i.e. me, like I was nice with every single shell. The green one, I would bust your ass with the green one. The red one, the blue one was wild because if you was in first place and they shot that shell from 12th place, you was getting hit no matter what. Here, let me pull myself back a little bit. That's to show you. But this game was so fun to play. Like you could literally just start arguing with anyone in your house because of how the race turns out. But nevertheless, this game is a legendary game. If you haven't played it, go ahead and play. They got like 10 renditions of this game out on different generations of systems right now. But I got Mario Kart number 7. All right. Now we get into it. We're almost in the top 5 position, right? In number 6, you have Test Drive Unlimited. Now, for those of you who are not super into racing games or just now getting into it, this was one of the first racing games that did the open world and was actually good as hell. Like it took place in Hawaii. You can literally link up with all your friends. You can drive across the island. And they did such a great mapping of this island. It would take forever to drive across the island. Forever. That's how big and realistic this map was. And, you know, it gave you the opportunity to pretty much do sightseeing in the game. Had great driving mechanics, by the way. And, you know, it was fun to play. If you either wanted to get in and do some real racing or do some street racing or just cruising and playing around and hustling to buy fire-ass cars that you always wanted to drive and own and feeling how the mechanics is because it's a different car and how the car sounded. This game did it all. And to be honest with you, the format of racing games that you guys play today, the Crew Motorfest, Forza, all these other games, they took this format. They took the format from this game and just did it differently or build upon it. You get what I'm saying? So this game was really the blueprint. If you guys can, Go out, cop it, test drive unlimited, and I have it in the number 6 position. And let's keep going. Let's keep going. Bear with me. Bear with me. I got some stuff. In the number 5 position, this is going to be a controversial take. I have Forza Horizon. Give you a couple seconds to process that. Take a sip of water. Now, you like Final Boss? How you have Forza Horizon at number 5? That's crazy. It was like one of the best games ever made for Xbox. You a PlayStation head? No. Forza is a legendary ass game. It was probably the counterpart or the counterpart to Gran Turismo at first. When they first started creating Forza, or it was basically to compete with Gran Turismo, and they did a hell of a job. Forza is a legendary title of a game. And eventually they started doing Forza Horizon. And those later Forza series basically build upon what Test Drive did and what the crew were doing. You get what I'm saying? So Forza Horizon basically has the open world format, has a lot of games. Driving mechanic is pretty solid, actually. The only issue with it is I felt like, it took a little bit too much from its competition in the crew. So I put it in the number 5 position. But nonetheless, I should say, if you want an open world, semi-realistic, semi-simulation type game, right, that has great mechanics, fun to play, you can play with friends, go cop Forza Horizon. That game is fire. So I put it in the number 5 position due to the heritage, the lineage, all of that. It's in number 5. All right. Now, let's get it going, right? Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We're making our way through this list. I think I'm trying to go as fast as I possibly can, but I'm making my way through this list. And in the number 4 position, right? This one I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for, but bring it. I want all the smoke. We can debate about this. In the number 4 position, I have Need for Speed Most Wanted. Yep, let that process. Need for Speed Most Wanted. Oh, it's a legendary game. How the hell you have it at number 4? Listen, it was a hard decision to make, right? Because honestly, in this top 4 position, the way how I have the games listed, anyone could be interchangeable, to keep it real with you. So this one was difficult for me. I may go back and make a answer video to this video and change my list, who knows? But in the number 4 position, I had Need for Speed Most Wanted. Like, this game is legendary, especially for the time it debuted, right? Like, it essentially introduced bullet time. So when I say bullet time, I'm talking about, they brought slow motion in the game industry, which has never been done before in terms of for a racing game, in which you, the player, can initialize like a slow motion to do incredible maneuvering and basically help escape police chases, near accidents, help you win races, and etc. It has never been done until Need for Speed Most Wanted did it. And boy, we used to have so much good times playing this game. Like, the police was infamous. They were going crazy. It's like they programmed the game to make the police super smart. They got smarter each time. They were literally trying to take you out. And you had to get nice with the driving, which the game mechanics was so fire. Like, the driving mechanics was top tier. OD. And then they had the M3 in that bit. Listen, they had the M3 with the V. They was wilding. Like, you know how many people tried to recreate that M3 in real life? But the mechanics was so fire. You had to learn how to maneuver and when to initialize the bullet time, to slow down and get out of the way. Super fun game to play. I think this game literally was EA Sports at its peak, and they could never recreate that. That was almost lightning in a bottle. They did some other fire stuff, but that game just sits up there. It was so good they had to redo it for the current generations of games. They couldn't capture the same essence it had, but people was calling for it. But in the number 4 position, I have Need for Speed Most Wanted. Let me know how y'all feel about that. And let's keep it going. Now in the top 3 position, I'll drink a little bit more water. Oh my God. in the top three position, right? I think I did a pretty good job, but I'm here for the debates. I got Gran Turismo 7 for number three. Number three position, Gran Turismo 7. Now, Gran Turismo, as you know, is one of the original, if not the only original driving simulation game that we had before all these new simulation games like Assetto Corsa and these other games that you can mod out and stuff like that. Like Gran Turismo basically gave us the feel of driving almost hundreds of thousands of cars each series you buy, different sound, different driving mechanics. The game was so realistic that it made you quit when you play that shit. And I'm gonna bleep that, but it made you quit when you play it because it's so hard. If you coming around a turn, you don't brake right, you don't downshift at the right time, you're losing, or you're going into the wall, or you're damaging your car. But for the true gearheads, once we got tired of it, we turned it off, turned it back on, and it just kept us going because we actually wanted to beat those races. And then when you think about it, we realized that most of us, unless we just came from a family of money, may not ever get to drive some of these cars or own some of these cars. So it gave us the feel of what it would be like to drive and own some of these cars. You know what I mean? So it made us dream, and it made us basically put our heads down to bust our ass and try to get something as close to the dream car as we wanted. You feel me? But Gran Turismo 7, due to the mechanics, the driving mechanics, the simulation, the amount of cars you can get and drive and try out, the quests you had to do in those games to get your license, I got it at number three. One of the most original simulation games, Gran Turismo 7. All right, top two. We're down to the top two now. Let's do it. Top two. I got the Crew Motorfest top two. Now, this may be biased of me. I don't know. But I had more fun playing the Crew than I had playing Forza Horizon. Like, this game is like super fun. It has great driving mechanics. And honestly, this game definitely like renewed the love I had for racing games, to be honest with you. Like, because for a while I was just over racing games. I'm playing more so RPG games, the God of Wars and Ghost of Tsushima and things of like that. But once I started playing this, it got fun again. And the homie and I were playing through the series, having mad fun, trying to beat each other, basically, teaming up to get in first and second place to beat the quest. You also was able to drive across the map. And I think it took place in Hawaii as well. I could be wrong, but I think it took place in Hawaii as well. But the Crew Motorfest, it's definitely like a gem for the new age. Like if you just want to get in, play something fun that's challenging, that has a arcadey but simulation feel, this is the game to go. So I got the Crew Motorfest in the number two position. If you haven't played, try it out, message me, let me know what you think, because I think this game is fire. It's a gem of a game, trust me. Now, before we get to the number one position, I almost violated my video, but before we get to number one, I have an honorable mention. Don't laugh. This game is fire. It's one of the original racing games. I have Diddy Kong Racing. Like, this shit, that game was fire. And I know you probably gonna say, like, Final Boss, you're wilding out. Like, come on, son, that wasn't a real. Listen, if you messed with Mario Kart, you had to try Diddy Kong Racing because that shit, listen, the soundtrack was dumb fire. It was fire. And then they mixed different kind of racing that Mario Kart didn't really do. They had like hovercrafts / boats. They did airplanes. They had a fire soundtrack. They basically had a similar attack system that Mario Kart had where you can attack your opponents. This game was so fun to play, and you didn't have to stress your brains out trying to beat this game and learn what to do with it. It's just mindless. You get in, you play, you can play by yourself, you have fun with your family and friends, you challenge each other. Of course, you might end up in an argument depending on how the race goes in case if people was picking on you, but this game was hella fun and it was an honorable mention. So I wanted to throw that in there. And now, without further ado, in the number one position, I know I'm gonna catch flack for this, but it is what it is. I have Need for Speed The Run. Oh, you're wild, and you put the run over most wanted. Final boss, you bugging out. Uh, no, no. Let's effort. Let's cut the lights on. Let's get to it. Right now, I think besides most wanted, right? Most wanted had a decent story mode, but I think the run was basically the pinnacle of EA Sports really putting money behind the Need for Speed series. Basically, the premise of this game was you were in deep with the mob, you owed them money, you entered this huge race, which is a cross country race which started in LA and ends in New York. And to escape the mob, you need to win this money. But throughout your racing, throughout you racing through this race from LA to New York, the mob is literally trying to kill you. Right? So, I have to thank this game for all my endless anxiety that I constantly experience because, boy, I'm telling you, when you hit Chicago, and we're not going to talk about NY, but when you hit Chicago and they start bugging out, and when I say bugging out, you get to this point where you get to Chicago, the whole game difficulty literally intensifies by like 5 times. Now you're driving through these tight spots, you're going through tunnels, you're in the urban cities, there's different cars you have to maneuver around. They're sending suburban trucks, Escalades, all kind of Rhino trucks to come hit you out of the way. And you think you have to maneuver through all of that, and that was it. Wrong. Wrong. They sending choppers and they shooting at you with a minigun, damaging your car. And police is still coming after you. Bro, listen, I have never sweat that much. I don't remember when I was like 15, 16 when this game is. I was literally sweating playing this game. I don't remember how old I was playing. I was sweating, palms sweaty, going crazy. I had to literally almost broke my controller because I couldn't beat that level. Then we got to NY and it was that times 10. So I'm not gonna lie, the story mode that they put into Need for Speed the Run, the driving mechanics, the the secretive stuff that's happening, the stuff that you couldn't even prepare for, and even if you know it's coming, they changed it around. That is probably one of the best, most fun racing games I have ever played, and it's Need for Speed the Run. And they messed it up because they tried to use a little bit of that for the movie instead of doing Need for Speed the right way. And I'm mad about that. So EA, if you ever want to redo this movie or restart the Need for Speed series, holla at your boy because I think you need to do the run and do it the right way. But either way, in the number one position, I got Need for Speed the Run. All right, y'all. So those are my top 10 best racing games of all time. I know you guys are about to have a field day with my top 10, but as you know, these stuff is subjective. But I'm here for the debate, and I stand by it. I stand by my list. So if you feel like I'm wilding out, come in the comments. Tell me what you're talking. Tell me what you feel. Tell me where I wild out. Tell me where some of these games could have been. Tell me if I missed a few games, because I'm with that. I might have to make another video. I'm with all that. And let's debate. Let's chop it up. And let me know. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. This is my top 10 racing games of all time. And thank you for all the support. The channel is officially 1 year old. And I got so many views. And you guys did your thing. And for the for the subscribers. Oh my God. That keeps coming back. I appreciate you guys. Tell a friend, tell a family member. We doing it big over here. Final Boss Order Hub out.